Okay, now in Econ, let's study for quiz 1. The floor broker purchases you 6 shares of Mattel and then reports the trade to the floor. That means that hundreds of computers all over the NYSE have recorded your blank. Transaction. True or false? Purchasing and selling has to do with the government trading on the market. True or false? True. Sorry, I didn't want to cooperate. A floor blank is just like the people you see on the news clips on television when they show a bunch of people frantically waving their arms and dropping paper all over the floor. Broker. The very first stock exchange was created in 1531 in Antwerp, blank. Belgium. True or false? In the early days of our nation, the colonial government was looking for a way to finance its wartime operations, so it sold bonds. True. True or false? Traders would meet on what was once a farmer's market area known as Fisherman's Wharf in New York. False. True or false? England's first stock exchange originated in 1773. True. A unit of the equal shares of the capital stock divided by a corporation is called a blank. A share. Some of the stocks offered to get on the NYSE were blank to be put in the NYSE, so a brisk business was running outside on the curb of the street. Not good enough. True or false? The New York Stock Exchange is also known by its initials, NYSE. True. True or false? The New York Stock Exchange began with a handful of men standing in front of a buttonwood tree near the Trinity Church in East Manhattan shortly after the American Revolution. True. Jim receives a copy of a new radio station being proposed in his town. Within the information, he learns the potential for profits, the risk involved, and how much capital is needed in order to become a shareholder. Jim is looking at a blank. A prospectus. True or false? When you purchase a share, you have purchased a little piece of the company. True. A broker is the person who will do the actual blank of the stocks for you. Purchasing. True or false? People will subscribe to publications such as Barron's or the Wall Street Journal to get information on investing more wisely. True. When you call a broker and arrange to buy stock, the broker calls a person on the floor of the exchange, probably an blank of his. Employee. True or false? A prospectus is a statement explaining the plan of a business or financial endeavor, including the financial status, the officers, recent performance, and the profits that an investor may realize. True. True or false? Mattel, as well as thousands of other companies, offers the opportunity to buy a part of their company by selling shares. True. True or false? Your broker tells someone to buy 6 shares of Mattel stock for you. The person he is talking to is called the floor broker, and the transaction takes place on the floor of the stock market. True. When you told the broker you wanted to get those 6 shares of Mattel stock, he sent a message to a person who is working on the blank of the New York Stock Exchange. The floor. A drop in the market which may signify a good time to buy stocks is called a dip. The initial location where the stock transaction takes its first steps. The broker acts as an intermediary. The brokerage house. A form of proof of stock ownership, mostly obsolete nowadays. Stock certificate. True or false? From its humble origins of the 1700s, the stock market in America has grown to be a major financial force in the world today. True. Started in the mid-19th century, financial emphasis moved from farming to manufacturing. Industrial Revolution. The largest of all American stock exchanges, created in 1792. The New York Stock Exchange. A place where financial securities are bought and sold. Stock exchange. A unit of the equal parts of the capital stock divided by a corporation. A share. The formal name of the curb traders. It began in 1908. The American Stock Exchange. The Curb Exchange continued to grow and was renamed the American Stock Exchange, also known as blank. AMEX. In addition to bonds, the banks sold little parts of their banks to whoever had the money and the desire to own a blank in the business. A share. When the 1900s brought the blank, Wall Street peaked and the New York Stock Exchange was getting all the business it could handle. The Industrial Revolution. In the 1700s, The first banks in American history were being created, and once again blank was needed to make the start successful. Cash. True or false? If you want to buy shares in Mattel Toys, you run down to Toys R Us and tell them you want 20 shares of Mattel. False. True or false? A transaction is written proof that a purchase has been made. Okay, that's false. That would be a receipt, right? True or false? A broker is the person who will do the actual purchasing of the stocks for you. True. True or false? The Wall Street Journal is the monthly newspaper which focuses on stock market activity. False. True or false? AMEX, or AMEX, is another name for the Standard & Poor's Index. False. Okay, the broker tells you, well, right now a share in Mattel Toys is going for $20. That's not the actual price. But my blank will cost you $40. So you can buy 6 shares of Mattel. What will cost you $40? Okay, services. One who owns shares of a business on the stock exchange. Shareholder. A device which gives constant updates on the activity of the New York Stock Exchange. Stock ticker. Offers significant discounts for conducting purchases over the internet. Discount brokerage. Work for the shareholder by the broker, such as selling and buying stock. Broker services. A financial weekly publication which features information on buying and selling stock. Barons. After the broker has called the floor broker goes to the area allotted for that particular stock. He buys the amount of stock from the company. He blank it on the floor. He reports it on the floor. Okay, he reports it on the floor and then back to your brokerage blank. The stock is now yours. Okay, house, your brokerage house. When selling your stock, you would call the broker and the process would go almost the same way. The broker will deduct his blank and then pass the money on to you. Commission. When you told the broker you wanted to get those shares of Mattel stock, he sent a message to a person working on the blank of the New York Stock Exchange. The floor. True or false? Purchasing and selling has to do with the rises and dips in the market. True. The floor broker purchases your shares of Mattel and reports the trade to the floor. That means that hundreds of computers all over the NYSE have recorded your blank. Transaction. True or false? When you call a broker and arrange to buy stock, the broker calls a person on the floor of the exchange, probably an employee of his. True. In some cases, many blank brokerages are offering significant discounts for conducting purchases over the Internet. Discount. True or false? Your broker tells someone to buy 6 shares of Mattel stock for you. The person he is talking to is called the sales broker, and the transaction takes place on the floor of the stock market. False. Okay, I want you to go through this. Make sure you know it before you take your quiz. Listen to this as many times as you need to. Make sure you know it.